Everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Dokun Nochirionye. Most people call me Mrs. Noch. It is my pleasure to be here with you today and to facilitate this session, which is a sequel to the first one that we had on strategic planning for impact. Before we begin, I wanted to get a feel of what kind of businesses we have in mind or that we have started already. Now, you don't need to say what your specific business or business idea is, especially if you haven't launched it, but I'd like you to give an idea of the industry where your business is situated. So if you can put in the comment section or in the chat box, in fashion, in entertainment, in beauty, whatever industry your business is located, please put it in the comment section so that I have a feel of what your business is. It could be whether you are in the ideation stage, or whether you're in startup, or whether you are trying to grow and scale your business. I am looking forward to your comments. Let me pull up the comment section. Healthcare. Thank you, Gina. And also, I'd like you to use this as a networking opportunity and take note of the people that say that they are in your line of work. It is always a plus to have people that you can brainstorm with, that you can call on. And I hope that by the end of this webinar, you will have a clearer roadmap on how to go from having a dream or an idea to actually planning out your business and starting to run with it. There are certain things that are important and they are of a necessity for anyone who will take their business seriously. I see cleaning and wellness. Thank you, Kathy. Arts and craft. Thank you, Eje Joy. Thank you, beauty. Hello, Flourish. Installation services for Bio Day. Healthcare for joy again, digital marketing, love it. Interior decor, community service, photography, wonderful. These are all different areas and different industries. Only one or two of them are similar. And this is just an indication of the diversity of thought, ideas, and businesses that are possible within the African community. I am very passionate about empowering people of African heritage, whether that is in business or in their family, because we are largely underrepresented. If you look around you in Sudbury, let's not even go to the rest of Northern Ontario, and even in Canada, there are so many businesses. How many of them are Black owned and Black led? We really are leaving money on the table. And business translates directly to economic empowerment and economic power. When you control a large share of the business landscape, you do get a seat at the table. You get an opportunity to speak with government, with leaders, with policymakers, and make requests, in some cases, even demands of things that will empower your community. So I'm truly grateful to Nobi for running this series of webinars. They are extremely needed and extremely impactful. Now, I'm having difficulty pulling up my slides, but I'm not going to let that slow me down. I'll just keep going and then I'll email the slides to Karen. Is that okay? So I was saying that how many Black-owned businesses do we have in Sudbury? Think about the different industries, hospitality, in addition to the ones you've mentioned, hospitality, food services. Wow. How many Black-owned restaurants do we have? If you want to go out for a nice evening and you're looking for something to eat, how many Black-owned restaurants can you really go to? How many healthcare providers are Black? How many doctors are Black? How many lawyers are Black? How many consultants are Black? We really have to start to think about all these things. How many therapists, for example, are Black? And many of us are warehousing these ideas in massive quantities. So I'm hoping that part of the outcomes of this webinar is that we can directly take the knowledge that is being shared and translate that into actionable steps. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible today because I always want us to have something tangible we can run with. When it comes to the business landscape in Canada, many Black people report that they do not have an understanding of the business landscape. Some people have run businesses successfully before they moved here. And when they do get here, they find it difficult to translate that same business into Canadian equivalency, which is why NoBIP is here to provide that support. Some people say, oh, I've come to NoBIP, and all of the things they were saying to me were too high level. I couldn't understand what they were saying. Well, the good news is that what they're saying to you is the correct information, and you need to have those things in place and your ducks in row if you are to become a serious business owner. Business is serious work. It is not for loafers. It is not for people who have just a wish. They say if wishes were horses, you can complete the rest of that saying. If wishes could translate into millions and billions, we won't all be here. We would be floating in the sky and achieving greater things. But there is a requirement of you. There is a demand of you mentally, physically, financially, and even intellectually to understand everything that you need to create, run, and execute the kind of business that is built to last. I want to see more businesses owned by Black people, and I want them to be built to last. When you look at many big brands, this is not the first generation of that business. It started many years ago, and they continue in the legacy. I've had the opportunity to interact with some business owners here in Sudbury, and I've been mind blown at the amount of work that has gone into their businesses and the legacy that they have put in place. There are many young chaps who are going to school and are finishing from school and running their parents' businesses. Many of those businesses are employing you and I. It can be us, and it should be us. And it's time for us to take our place and our space in the business landscape. So I'll get right into it. And I had a quote up. Your business can only grow as big as your vision. It can only grow as big as your vision. If you would take anything away today, I want it to be that spend enough time clarifying your business vision. Too many times as Black people, we do copy and paste, we run and go, crash and burn. It works just like that. Copy, paste, run, crash and burn. We need to engage clarity more. You need to clarify your business idea before you even go to NoBIP, before you attend that next accelerator or that next program. Clarify your business idea. The power of a clear vision is what we call business acumen. You have to have a clear vision. I sell food. That's not clear enough. What kind of food? For whom? You have to be very specific, as niched down as possible on your core business idea. So that is the first point that I'm making. Clarify your vision to the point that a 4-year-old can understand it. And that's not work that you do in a day. If you cannot explain your business to a 4-year-old, you're not yet done. Keep going. Keep breaking it down. I'll give you an example. In Thriving African Families, we say we empower families of African heritage to thrive. And some people say, what does that mean? How do you even do that? That sounds like big English. What exactly do you do? And so we clarified it even further by saying we do this through mentorship, training, capacity building, and support and advocacy as well. So people want to know, how exactly do you do what you say you do? What exactly is your core business idea? You need to clarify it to the letter, and you need to develop certain things. And I'll give them to you in a very simple version. Your business must have a vision, your business must have a mission, and your business must have core values. These are the anchors of your business. This is the foundation from which you build. Your vision is the big idea, the long term, the ideal future that you hope to create. through your business. Maybe you want to help women find their confidence after delivering a baby or after undergoing changes in their body. That's your big vision. You don't just make clothes. You're selling confidence, not just clothes. Because if you say I sell clothes, I can go to Winners. I don't have to buy from you. I don't have to. Anybody can sell clothes. But if you tell me what I'm selling is confidence for plus size women, I am sold. I will spend my money in your store. So clarify your business idea to the point that you have a vision. If you don't have these first three things, you will not be taken seriously. And that is the truth. Whether your business is in fashion, healthcare, beauty, community services, you must have a vision, mission, and values. VMV. You must have them. The mission is how you will get there. The mission is the vehicle. For example, Thriving African Families, our vision is to see all African families overcoming barriers and thriving. How are we going to get there? We do this through mentorship, training, capacity building, support, and advocacy. That's the vehicle. So anything you see us do, we're either mentoring, we're training, we're building capacity. For example, this webinar is building capacity. That's why I'm here. If it doesn't align with the mission, you will count us out. We wouldn't be a part of it. So it is such an anchor because it helps you to clarify and narrow your focus. And I will get to the point of focus in about 5 minutes as well. You need to know the vehicle with which you will get there. Remember, the vision is the big idea because some people have said to me, what is the difference between vision and mission? It's so confusing. It's really very simple. The vision is a big idea, the ideal future. If you had a magic wand and you could change everything, what would that be? That is the vision. Then the mission is how. How do you get there? Then the values is how we behave, who we are. Those are your values. In Thriving African Families, we have 5 values. You can have from 2 all the way to 6. Anything more than that is just an overkill. So your business must have values. Whether you are a clothing line or you're making t-shirts that have affirmations, that's an idea, by the way, for somebody. If you're making t-shirts that have affirmations and positive words, what are your values? How do you behave? Our values are culture, communication, community, contribution, collaboration. Those are our values. Some organizations say their values are inclusivity, respect, empowerment, empathy, whatever it is. How will you behave as an organization? So wherever you see us show up in Thriving African Families, we behave in a cultural way. We behave in a way that shows we value community. We behave in a way that contributes to the community we belong to. We collaborate. Those are the ways that we behave. We live those values. Your values are the behavior of your organization because your organization is an entity. Even though it might be in initial phase, it is an entity, and you have to have the idea that you are building to last. You are building what will outlive you. At Thriving African Families, we're building in such a way that if I step out of it today as the founder, everything should run perfectly. If one person resigns today, things should run perfectly. You shouldn't, many businesses shut down when the founder dies because there was no structure in place. These things were not clarified. The vision was inside the founder's head. There was no mission. The mission was whatever the founder felt like focusing on that year. The values, well, permit me to say this in pidgin English, anywhere belle face, that's what the values are. Wherever there's money, wherever there's opportunities, we're going there. But we cannot build sustainable, empowering Black-owned businesses with that kind of mindset. Some business owners say, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 20 years in Ghana before I moved to Canada. That doesn't count, unfortunately, because in this environment, if you don't have those things in place, you cannot even have attention from stakeholders, from funders, from the people that matter, or even market share in the minds of your clients. Those things have to be in place. So get the vision, mission, and values right when you are clarifying your business idea. The next thing is to understand that common mistakes need to be avoided. Please do not follow the bandwagon when you are running your business in Canada. I know someone who started a food business and registered it as an incorporated nonprofit. Why? Because somebody told them to do so. And I said to them, what is your vision for this business? I don't know. I just want to make money. Oh my gosh. Making money is not a vision, it's an outcome. Is an outcome of a profitable business. You need to have a vision. What do you hope to see? And many of this will entail you sitting down and engaging with your core and your ideas as a founder. So for every single business that you build and you run, this is what you will do every single time. If I want to start a clothing line tomorrow, I'm going to do all this all over again. I can't cut corners. I cannot leave anything out. Please avoid the common mistakes and pitfalls of Black businesses. One of them is know it all. Black business owners believe that they know everything and they don't need training. You couldn't be farther from the truth. You do need training, you do need knowledge, especially when you're in a different landscape or terrain from what you have been accustomed to. I'll give you another example. I know someone who started an events management business in Nigeria before they moved to Canada. And when they moved here, they thought they could just jump in and organize events and do things. But the first thing they realized was they didn't even know the service providers in the industry here. And so all your contacts are back home. Number two, there are many rules and laws and policies here, and they must be followed. If you contravene them, you risk being shut down. Many people are running food businesses from their basement, from their personal kitchen, without the right approvals and clearance and the documentation to go with it. I want you to know that you are walking on hot coal. You are in a risky business, and at any time, you can be held liable for whatever happens to people, especially when it comes to things like food. Some people don't even have a valid food handlers, and they are advertising their food business in African communities. When I read that, it makes me so afraid. So right now, I'm at the point where I do not deal with caterers in Sudbury if you're not a registered business and if you don't have structure. I won't order food from you, even if it's just meat pies. Because I'm not contributing positively to the landscape. One of the things I ask them is, are you registered with NoBeep? I'm not even kidding. If you're not registered with NoBeep, I know that you probably have no clue what you're doing. I don't want to buy food from you for thriving African families, and then parents or children or seniors, they eat that food and they get food poisoning or they get whatever. I won't be able to explain myself. Insurance will not cover that. So all those things have to be in place. Avoid the bandwagon effect, avoid cutting corners, avoid the belief that you know it all and you don't require training. There's so much training, so much knowledge available, but many people don't know it because they have not submitted themselves to the right process. A few days ago, Paro came to give a presentation. I caught the replay, and they were talking about the food business, is it incubator or accelerator program? I've known about that program for years when I started Mrs. Noch Foods in Sudbury. And I always ask many caterers I know, have you heard about this? I send it to them every time it's open. I haven't seen any of them apply. Not one. Are you availing of the resources that are available in your community? That's another common error that Black business owners make. Because you are not moving in the right circles, because you're not networking with the right people that will advance your business, you are only engaging with your potential clients. And that's not what will grow your business. Clients don't grow your business, they patronize you. Business tools, incubators, accelerators, startup programs for whatever stage you are at, they are available. They are funded. They are provided for you. And there are very few or no Black people there because we are not availing of these resources. So we need to avail and leverage on them. The next thing I wanted to clarify is that when you are setting up your business, please ensure that certain things are done. Number one, registration. Your business has to be properly registered. I'm running this business from my home or my washroom or my bedroom has to end. It has to stop. These are not how legacy businesses are built. The people that own Walmart, the people that own Independent, the people that own most of the major brands that you know that have been in existence for hundreds of years. Even if they started small, they didn't remain that way. Register your business. Number two, set up a digital presence. At the very least, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they are free. You must have them. Whatever it will take, set them up. And you don't have to know how to do it. You can employ people, you can outsource it. Just get it done. That includes a website as well. Many people say, well, I'm just selling clothes. I don't need a website. If we can't even find you on Google and you're applying for a $5,000 grant, how are you going to get it? There's no confidence. You're not inspiring confidence from the funder because they can't find you online. They cannot see your business without meeting with you. I remember when we were working on building thriving African families, I had all the ideas in my head. And then I realized there's no way the website has to be done. And I didn't even have the money to set up the website or to pay anyone to do the website. I made some inquiries and some of the figures that they wanted to charge, I couldn't afford it. So it's not that they were expensive. I couldn't afford it because I had put in my personal contribution to a certain amount and I was tapped out. And so I realized, what could I do? Hello, there are many skills that you have warehoused in you alone. There are opportunities around you. There are assets in your personal network that you can leverage. So I realized if I don't have the money to pay for a website, is there anybody that can do it for me? And then I can pay them in kind. And when I say in kind, maybe I can facilitate a session for you. I can host an event for you. I can moderate an event for you. And instead of paying me that money, you will do my website for me. That's a possibility. So you can exchange your service for a service that you need. Explore that as well. Some people have kitchens. You can use that to start up your business. Share the kitchen with them, pay them a fraction of the cost that you need, and stop operating your food business from inside your bedroom. I'm really on the food business owners because it seems like we have such a huge number there, and many of them are not showing up properly on the business landscape. And so I decided that I couldn't even exchange my services for the kind of website that I wanted. So I sat down and I built the website myself. It took me 3 days and I built the website for Thriving African Families, the same one that we still have. It hasn't changed. And I built it with whatever skills that I had. And I got it up and running. I hit a roadblock at a point. I reached out to a friend that had the technical expertise and I said, I'm done with the website, but it's not connecting with the domain. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've tried so many things, it's not working. We set up a meeting. The person clicked one or two things and the thing went live. And I was like, well, great, good job. All this was before we finally launched. It's going to be a year next week. We're celebrating our anniversary, our 1 year anniversary already. So use the skills you have. Your children have access to technology. They have laptops, they have phones, they know how to do some of these things and they can set it up for you. So set up a proper digital presence. WhatsApp is not a proper digital presence. It's a channel. So saying that I post my business on the Afro Heritage group, I post it on the Nigerian community group, the Kenyan community group, the Ghanaian community group, and all of those things, that's not proper business. Get it set up on websites. People have websites for silly things. How much more the beautiful business idea that you have, it deserves to be warehoused in a nice place where people can just Google you and find you, and it inspires confidence. Once I had to do business with an agency in Sudbury, and they asked me for a caterer. I suggested some people, I recommended some people, and they told me to send their menu. Karen, okay, you are the one that I can see. I'm not even spotlighted. Is it possible to put me on spotlight, please? I can see only you.
Yeah.
All the caterers I reached out to, only one person, just one, had a menu and a business card that I could forward to that agency. And every day, people are posting food businesses, meat pies, all of those things. They are posting them on our WhatsApp groups. I was completely shocked. And then the person said to me, this person that you have sent me their menu, I Googled them and I can't find them. Oh my gosh. I was so disappointed, truly disappointed. I didn't know where to hide my face. I said, do you know how many caterers we have? This is appalling. It's not going to work. We can't continue like this. So I had to say, well, let me put my personal brand behind this person and recommend this person. I have ordered from them before. I have confidence in their ability. So now I have to do a personal referral to override the lack of business representation. So please, whatever it is that you're doing, get it online. That is extremely important. I don't want to belabor the point too much. The next thing you need to do when you're also setting up your business is to clarify certain things. Your why. Why are you doing this business? I want to make money. That's a weak why. I just want to help. That's a weak why. I want to make a difference. That's a weak why. I highly recommend The Power of Why by Simon Sinek and The Golden Circle. His videos are available on YouTube. Please watch them and sit with your idea and clarify your why. You also need to clarify who you serve. So who is your ideal customer? What is their name? How old are they? How educated are they? I know our ideal customer in thriving African families. There are certain people that will never sign up for our program, even if it's free or is always free. They will never sign up for our program. They will never attend. They won't even see it. They won't even like it. It will not appeal to them. And that's totally fine because they're not our ideal customer. I have our ideal customer completely clarified. So I know who it is that we are reaching out to. I know who it is that will hear the sound of our voice. I know the people that will see our post and like it. I know the people that will remember our logo and it will be memorable for them. It is because they're our ideal customer. So you have to create a customer persona. Who is your ideal customer? What is their name? Where are they from? How old are they? Are they male? Are they female? Are they parents? Or are they youth? Are they children? Who is your customer? I know someone who runs a confectionery business in Sudbury, and she has clarified that her ideal customer is actually a 6-year-old. Because what she sells is treats, ice creams, and all of those things. If you are 60, you will not be as attracted to her booth as a 6-year-old. And that is the truth because at that age, you're not thinking ice cream. You're more conscious about your health. You're looking at your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure. All of those things are important to you. But a 6-year-old just wants ice cream. They even want it with toppings. They want it with marshmallows and fudge and all of those things that you would look at and you almost get a heart attack. Because she has clarified that her ideal customer is a 6-year-old, her colors, her logo, her branding, everything is to attract a 6-year-old. I'll give you an example of another business here in Sudbury, Amaze Fun. They provide inflatables, outdoor entertainment, food, and all of those things for outdoor events, Summerfest, and things like that. They have 2 or 3 major programs every year, and they bring all the bouncy castles. They sell all that thing that is like freezies and all those things that attract children and families to a wonderful outdoor event, especially during the summer. When you look at their logo, it is created to attract children. When you look at the colors, it's created to attract children. When you look at No Beep's brand colors, the green, the yellow, the red, in specific shades, it will not be attractive to a 6-year-old because a 6-year-old is not your ideal customer. When you look at a beauty business, their colors will attract you. Their colors speak beauty. Their colors speak to their ideal customer. So sit with your thoughts and say, who am I really trying to attract? Some people's businesses are built for parents only, like certain businesses. Some people's businesses are built for students. Everything you do has to be channeled to attract that ideal customer. The next one is the problem you solve. What problem do you solve? Your business has to solve a problem. We don't pay because we like it. We pay because you are solving our problem. If I order food from you, it's because you are solving my problem. I know how to cook, but maybe I cannot cook for 100 people in one day. But you have that capacity, you have that strength, you have that skill set. I don't. So I pay you because you are solving my problem. What problem is your business solving? There are businesses that solve the problem of entertainment. There are businesses that solve the problem of belonging, community. Some businesses solve the problem of sickness and disease. They prevent it, or they heal it, or they manage it. There are many types. So you have to be clear on what problem your business is solving. So you see, it's beyond just saying, I have an idea, copy, paste, run, crash, and burn. It's not about launching your business. All these things need to be done before you even announce to the world that you have a business. The next one is, what is your unique approach? It's called your blue ocean. What makes you stand out? What makes you stand out? How many nonprofits are in Sudbury? Several. More are coming up and more will continue to come up. How will you be different? How will you stand out? How many healthcare businesses do we have? How many cultural businesses do we have? How many community services do we have? Photographies, oh my gosh, there's so many. Cleaning and wellness, there's so many. How are you different? You have to be able to craft that. And so I recommend that you spend 0 to 90 days clarifying your business idea. Spend 3 months on it. Every day, come and look at it again and say, photography. Who am I? What's the correct English now? Who am I photographing? Whose pictures am I taking? Some people take pictures of only babies. That is how far they have clarified their business idea. Some people take pictures of only celebrations. Some take only corporate events. I am a professional MC and moderator. I don't MC birthdays. If I MC a birthday, know that I've done it as a personal favor. A personal favor for someone that is so close to me, I couldn't say no. I've only done 2 because that is not my niche. Some people MC only weddings. Some people only moderate events. They don't MC. That's a different skill set. It's a different way you MC and it's a different way that you moderate. If you're in that business, you will understand that it's different and it requires a different skill set. Some people moderate only corporate events. You will find them there. But when it is maybe a birthday party, they're not going to be there because they know their ideal customer and they have that clarified. So clarify your unique approach. How am I going to be different? Is it going to be in my colors? Is it going to be in the way I do business? Is it going to be in my turnaround time? Is it going to be in the quality of ingredients that I use? I know a caterer that says what makes me different is the quality of ingredients that I use to prepare my meals. And when she sets up her work, it shows. She's not cutting fish like she's cutting cubes of sugar. Everything is at a nice chunky size. So if you want quality, you will go to that person and you will pay whatever the person demands because they are speaking your language. There's some people that will never gravitate towards your service. There's no need to be upset. They are not your ideal customer. When you've clarified your ideal customer, you will never be upset. So when I see some people in the community and they say, oh, Mrs. Noch, I'm so sorry that I didn't attend a so-and-so program that you've done. One person said to me, I've been seeing all the things that you've done. I've just not been able to attend any of them. And I just smiled and I said, that's okay. But I know the reason, because you're not my ideal customer. It's not speaking to your language. It's not solving your problem. It's not addressing your pain point. If it is, you will come straight for it and you will keep coming all the time because it's speaking your language. So make sure you clarify your unique approach. You must stand out. You must be different. What is your blue ocean? This is part of the first 3 months of setting up your business. Have that clear before you come out. Because if you launch Mrs. Noch Photography, for example, Karen is also trying to launch the same thing. There are probably 3 or 4 already existing. And that brings me to my next point, market analysis. Too often, we jump into business without doing market analysis. You see this one, you have to do it continuously, not just at the beginning. You have to keep doing it. I do it quarterly. I just go and I take a deep dive and I say, what is happening in the nonprofit landscape in Sudbury, in Northern Ontario? In Ontario, you got to do that. It's also social listening. What is happening in my terrain? If Karen has started doing maternity photography and photographing pregnant women, why am I launching the same thing? Is my approach different? Am I targeting a different group of people? And my languaging, my messaging, everything will reflect that. Too often, if you don't have a unique value proposition or a blue ocean or a way that you stand out or a way that you differentiate yourself, you will be drowned, first of all, by competition, first and secondly, by the market leader. So whoever is the market leader has done a lot of that homework themselves, and they will continue to be ahead of the pack if you don't get these things right. So to get your own share of the market and the minds of people, all these things have to be done without exception. If you leave any of them behind, you will fall flat on your face and you will not be able to translate from dream to plan. Okay, the next one is the right structures. When you're starting your business, after your registration, please open a bank account. If you're still mixing, when I deal with vendors and they send me their personal account, their personal account details, that is the last time I deal with them. I won't be able to call it off at that time because I've already engaged them and we probably have negotiated how things will go. But it signals to me that you're not a serious business owner. I won't do business with you anymore. If you're mixing your business money with the money you used to buy groceries from Walmart for your family and cereal for your children, you are not ready to do business. I won't aid and abet that. The least you can do is to open a bank account. So maybe you are running away from CRA or you don't want the government to know that you're making money. You are not ready for a legacy business. Let's be ready because we have the capacity. We can do this as a Black community. Walmart is not collecting funds into the personal account of the son's daughter's boyfriend. They have a business account. Go open a business account because when you apply for grants and a lot of these things and loans, they're checking these things. It doesn't inspire confidence when these things are not in place. So have them that way. And when you're registering your business, by the way, please make sure you observe the right businesses. There are certain kinds of businesses that you cannot have a relative as part of the founding directors. So be mindful of those things as well. Because some people do that and then they apply for certain things and they don't hear back from them. These are some of the reasons because you're not at arm's length with the people you are doing business with. And the next point is make sure that your business shows up in a compelling way. So, how are you showing up online? Please invest some time and energy into learning the skills that you need, especially when you start off. When you start up, you will be the everything. You will be the graphics, you will be the social media, you will be the marketing, you will be the one in the kitchen doing the work, you will be the admin, you will be the PR, you will be the procurement officer, you'll be the driver. You will wear many hats when you start and you can learn this thing. Your mind is expandable, your brilliance can grow. You can learn all these things. Don't say I'm too old for that. Get on Canva and master it. I don't know how to keep my books. Can you watch some YouTube videos on how to do that? Use Excel. Don't complicate it. Use simple Excel. Sometimes some people say to me, because a lot of people consult with me for businesses, I need to start charging for it. I need to come to know people and set up a separate business for that. And they say, well, um, I really don't, I really don't understand how to position my business. And I say, what tools are you using? How are you putting this structure in place? Write everything down. Don't write it on a piece of paper. Paper can get lost. Can you use a Google Drive and save everything accordingly? When you are holding an event or a program, how much did you spend? You should be able to tell me at the drop of a hat that your first anniversary celebration or kids culture program that you ran cost you $1,982 or approximately 2,000. You should know. Kathy, you should know exactly how much you spend. And the reason is because we're not documenting. Let me give you a true story. We started Thriving African Families as a grassroots operation. Actually, we started Thriving African Families as an idea in my heart, just as every single one of you has ideas and you will continue to have them. In the previous session that we had, you can catch up on it on YouTube. I mentioned that the typical human being has up to 1,000 ideas every year, and 4 of them are capable of making you into a millionaire in your currency. So imagine the many millions of ideas you have every day. People have made businesses out of every little thing. Somebody created a multi-million empire on how to text a girl that you love. Please don't tell me it's about his generation. It's an idea that guys have problems communicating their affection to girls they just meet. And this guy sat down and designed a series of text messages. So he knows how to write very well. So he has written it for you. Just subscribe, pay your monthly subscription, and you have steady messages that are humanized. This was before AI. Ingenious. If somebody can create a multi-million empire out of that, what about all these things that you have put in the comment section? Maybe you started them already or you are still going to create them. It is limitless. The possibilities are endless. I want to see us flood the market. I want to see us take up space. Afrofest is coming up. I've personally done so much marketing. I think I need to start charging Afrofest for influencer fees. The number of people I've told, are you coming for Afrofest? And they have actually told me, what is Afrofest? It is shocking. If you don't know what Afrofest is and you move to Sudbury before me, you are not engaging in the right circles. You are only going to Owambe. Owambe will not grow your business. Oh. Owambe is not going to grow your business. You have to network with the right people. Let me get back to what I was saying. So use the simple tools that you have. This person could not give me a specific idea of how much they have spent on their business. And I could understand because I've been there before. When we started Thriving African Families, when I host an event in the community, I pay out of pocket. So I just take out of my own money from my own paycheck and then I pay for the food or the venue, the insurance, whatever it is we need. And guess what? I wasn't writing them down because I felt this is my money. I don't need to tell anybody how much I spent. No, you need to. Then we launched as a nonprofit last year. And then it was time to start to do our books. And then the bookkeeper asked me, so how much was your startup budget? Luckily, I had a startup budget because I had come to Nobib. And I remember Charles Bekai had said, do you have a startup budget? And I had done a whole lot of work. That was the only thing that I hadn't done. And I said, no. He said, Mrs. Noch, you need to get a startup budget together. So I sat down and I started to think about all the money I had spent. I started to retrieve my receipts. Of course, I had thrown some of them away. I had some of them, I kept them. And then I put them on an Excel sheet. And my goodness, I was mind blown at how much I had spent. $50 here, $100 here, 120, they add up a lot and quickly. So I was able to design or craft a startup budget based on what Charles had guided me on and the knowledge and experience that I had before. Fast forward to launching the nonprofit, we started applying for funding. And when you apply for some grants, they ask you, what is your budget prior to incorporation? I was stunned. Prior to incorporation? You mean you want to know? I wasn't keeping a record of them. So I went back to my startup budget that I had created because Charles at Nobib had made me do it. Do you see why knowledge is required? You can't know everything. And I had even done a lot of work. I worked very hard. I had done serious work on my vision. And so I pulled up that startup budget. And that was the only record I had of the money we had spent prior to incorporation. So I couldn't even document what was done previously. How many years have you been running your business? All the tools that you've bought, all the t-shirts that you've made, all the baseball caps that you paid for out of pocket, the food ingredients that you are buying. Where are you documenting them? You're taking them from your paycheck. That's why you need to have a bank account. So when I consult with people now on their businesses, because that's my own specialty. I'm not going to do what Nobip does, but getting you from ideation to getting you to the point where you can actually run with it, I know how to do that in my sleep. So I tell them, you will make a personal contribution in your business. And mind you, you don't have the moral right to ask us to pay for your services if you have not invested your own money in your business. If you don't believe in your vision enough to put your money down as a down payment for the work, why should I buy your product even if it's just $5? Some people say, I'm raising money to start. That's a wonderful idea, but you have to have it at some level before you can even get funding, whether you are pitching or you are applying or you are taking a loan or anything from the bank. And so I pulled up those records, and that was what served as our budget prior to incorporation. Then in our first fiscal year, but I had learned, of course, I had learned to take notes and I had learned to document and I had learned bookkeeping, I had learned accounting. They are not my strength. I hated math when I was in school. I never liked it. I tried to escape it as much as possible. If you ask me to add so and so with so and so, I'm grabbing my phone to use my calculator. So I hated the bookkeeping, but boy, have I learned. Now I read financial statements, I understand them, I interpret them, I ask questions. The boards that I sit on, when they bring out the financials, they know that Mrs. Notch is going to have a field day because I'll have questions for them. I understand it, but I learned all those things. And in the last 1 year too, I don't have an MBA. I didn't do accounting, but there's nothing you cannot learn. I'm sharing this personal story and I hope that you can hold space for me and hold it in confidence because I know many of us make these mistakes. All the clothes that you have in your house, do you even have an inventory? Do you know how many clothes you have? If you ask me how many things we have for thriving African families, I can give you in 1 second because the document exists and the value is there and it is reflected in our books. Those things are assets. You have to hold them and you have to have it properly documented. Whether you buy a bottle cap or a lid or a glass bottle or you paid for a sticker, even if you order things from Nigeria, put the exchange rate as at that day and put the value, put the amount there. You have to have proper books and proper documentation for your business if you are to build it. So everything that you're doing, please write it down. Put it in a simple Excel. Don't complicate it. Don't even let's talk about accounting softwares yet. Just a simple Excel sheet will do. And name it appropriately and save it so that when you want to pull it out in the future, everything doesn't have the same name and you are lost and confused. Those are the kind of things that you can take to business development. You can take to Nobip and say, this is what I've done. This is what I have. Can you help me make sense of it? Can you help me build this? This is my big vision. Remember, we've talked about your vision, mission, and values. This is what I'm really trying to do. They can take it further for you. I remember when I came to Nobe, I had all those things done, but by the time I was sitting down with Chamirai, I was mind blown. He scattered my brain for like 2 weeks. I went first for like 2 months. I went away and came back to say, did he just 10x my vision? Like he asked me to see into 30 years. And I'm like, who does that? But I had to go back. It took me 2 months to answer that question. I couldn't book my next meeting with him. Until I had cracked it. So some of the things you will encounter, and I'm wrapping up now because I wanted to give us some time to ask a few questions. I know that you may have one or two questions, and I wanted to give you that opportunity. Sometimes you may think, I don't understand all these things. Yes, it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. Oh, well, some people have gone ahead of you and they have done a fantastic job. You better reach out to them. There is a degree of your vision that has to do with understudying what exists in an excellent way. Understudying not to copy and paste, but understudying to understand the system that is behind it, the formula that is behind it. Some people said they have an idea for a cleaning business, for example. I believe I saw cleaning. Yes, cleaning and wellness. Okay, what cleaning businesses currently exist? If you don't know that, you are not ready to do business because they are your competition, they are your market, they're your land, they're everything. Landscape, you have to know that. Who else is running a cleaning business in Sudbury? You will know their names. You will know their colors. You will know their logo. You will know what they look like. You know how they behave. You will go on their website and you will sit and you will study it and you will understand it. That will even avoid a lot of copy and paste because you've engaged with clarifying your business idea. You know what you want to look like. Do you know that even your brand colors have to reflect what you are building? If you're running a beauty business for young girls, why is your color blue? They're not going to be interested. That tells me that you don't even know your ideal customer. You haven't done your customer persona. If you know them, you will know the kind of customers the kind of colors that attract them. Food businesses, they all have similar colors. Those are the colors, color psychology is the thing. Those are the colors that inspire hunger in you. They make you want to eat when you look at them. You don't know it, but that's what's happening to you. When you look at the colors of thriving African families, it speaks about Africa. It speaks about heritage. You look at it and you get that vibe. You don't know it, but that's the vibe you're getting. You look at it and you want to grow. You want to thrive. It is intentional, extremely intentional. The kind of words that we use whenever we write things or we post something, very, very intentional. You wouldn't understand how to do those things if you don't even do these first steps that I have said. So at this point, I wanted to take your questions or reflections. I see many big names here, people who have built amazing businesses that are worthy of commendation and emulation in the community. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you and to applaud you for doing it right, for showing up, for taking up space, for solving problems, and for starting to build what will grow to be a legacy for you. So well done for all the things you've done. For the people that are still trying to get it going or are trying to grow what they currently have, we can always engage in more conversations. Please reach out to Nobip. I believe that Nobip is highly, highly underutilized in our community. Bombard them, use them, squeeze the information out of them, get the knowledge, the connections, the training, and all these things from them because you need it to grow. We need it to take up space. We need it to represent who we are and our heritage in the business landscape in Sudbury. So if we have any questions, this is a great time. You can put it in the comment section or you can unmute yourself if you would like to speak. I believe we have 5 minutes before Karen comes for us.
Yeah. Yes, we have 5 minutes. Okay, I will let you ask questions and then we'll wrap up.
This is free business consultation with Mrs. Noch.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not, I like it when you said wishes alone are insufficient for achieving significant success. So, yeah, we gotta work hard in order to achieve success.
Yes, we have to do the work.
And
And it's not
knowledge.
hard.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you stay motivated when the path to your vision seems slow or challenging? That's a great question, Kathy, and thank you for asking that. You know what my answer is? It's your why. There will be tough times. There will be hard days. There will be days that you don't want to get out of bed. There'll be days that you'll be disappointed. I remember there was a particular week I applied for a lot of grants in Thriving African Families, and I've probably done almost 20 grants. I haven't been successful at everything, but there was a particular week that I got two declines in one week. Two declines the same week. One came on Monday, one came on Wednesday. I was so sad, almost depressed. And I was wondering, how do you expect me to continue this work if there's no funding? And I put in so much into writing those grants. I believe that it should have at least moved to the second stage. But hey, it is what it is. That is the landscape. And you're going to have to develop that resilience. When you know your why, it keeps you going, it keeps you motivated when things are slow or things are challenging. So for me, slow was not having enough funding or running out of funding to do the work. I encouraged myself with my why because I know what my why is. I know what I want to see in our community. I will keep going, even if I have to do all the work myself, or I have to pivot, or I have to consider doing things in a different way, or look for cheaper ways or free ways to do it. Those are the things that keep you going, knowing your why and being resilient. Flourish is asking, how do I pivot or rebrand without losing my current customers? Excellent question, Flourish. So that requires further conversation. But if you want to pivot, don't rush into pivoting. The question is, why do you want to pivot? Is there a reason to do so? Do you feel like your business is dematerializing or the market is shifting? There must be a reason for the pivot, and you must have a clear picture of where you are going with that pivot before you move into rebranding so that you don't lose your current customers. In Thriving African Families, we just went through a brand refresh. So we didn't do a total rebrand because there were many things that we got right. We realized that our logo could not take us into the future. So we worked on changing the logo, and that took us 5 months to achieve. We didn't change the colors because the colors were spot on. The colors are colors that speak to African heritage. We kept the color and we kept the shade so we can be memorable to our ideal customer. But we changed the logo because we needed it to be iconic. We needed it to reflect the family and also reflect African heritage. So we did a brand refresh, not a full logo, not a full rebrand. Some people do a full rebrand. It is also possible. You can completely change color, change name, change everything. There's just a way to go about it. There's a strategy and there's a way to complete that rebranding. Then it will be successful. But if you just rush and jump into it, your audience will be confused. It looks like it is simple to do. or do you go through it alone than with a partner? From your experience, what is better? It depends on what you're trying to build. Some things can be done as a sole proprietorship. Some things need to be done in partnership. Uh, at the very least, in Canada, to register any business, if it's incorporated, you need directors and you need a minimum of three directors. So they can be active directors or they can be a governing board that just oversees things. And then you have an operating team that does the main work, which is the CEO, the executive director, and all of those things. Okay, I see that Joy has a question. Please go ahead. Thank you for your kind words, Caroline. Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Noch. Thank you, Karen and Nobik, for this great opportunity. It is welcome, it's quite resourceful. Thank you so much. I'm always afraid to sit at Mrs. Notch's any of her webinar because there's some kind of fire that she releases, and I'm like, am I ready for this? So thank you, Mrs. Notch. So my question is, I'm looking at the books. How simple can one have your books, simple expenses, the things that you get? Because I'm at the stage of spending from out of pocket, and I'm wondering, I don't want to start seeking getting financial services from someone to come and do books for me because I'm still paying out of pocket for now. My question is, how can I make it I know what I bought, I know what I'm spending, but how simple or how is there a very simple table or format that I can use that will help me, when I'm ready to take that bold step of getting a financial person involved in my books?
Hey, excellent question. And thank you for that level of accountability. And by the way, when you're at the level where you are putting in your money to run the business, please deposit that money into the business account. I'll say it again. When you make a personal contribution, deposit the money into your business account and spend from the business account so that when you are reviewing the business account, you can see clearly. You're not looking into Mrs. Notch's personal account and then trying to understand which one was for her family and which one was for her business. So operate from your business account. Spend with that card of your business. Or if you have to spend with your own credit card because there are some payments that you can't make with a debit card, move the money back to your own personal account from your business account. The simplest tool that you can use is Excel. And it's very simple. Date, debit, credit, description. If you use that from now until whenever you are ready to sit with the proper accounting software, it will be very easy for you to translate everything there. Don't even sweat it. If you have the money to pay a monthly subscription, I recommend QuickBooks or Sage, but there's a learning curve with that. You have to learn how to use that. So give yourself some time or get an accountant to help you with that. But a simple Excel with those things I mentioned, and maybe the vendor, you can add the vendor and the tax amount, especially if you're running a nonprofit, put the tax amount that you pay on each transaction there. And that is the simplest form that you can hand over to anybody that requests for that. You can use that, an accountant can help you use that to create financials. But without that, everything is a mess. And always keep your receipts. Always keep your receipts. Have a separate place that you keep them and keep your receipts forever. Don't throw them away after 1 year or 5 years. Always keep your receipts because sometimes there's an opportunity for you to get your money back. But if you have no receipts, there's no evidence. And know that because we are already racialized, because we're already a minority group, there isn't that initial trust in our businesses. So we have to have things like registration, structure, accounting, and record keeping. We have to have them on lockdown. Then we can command the presence, the attention, the resources that we need to get these things going. Thank you for your wonderful questions and for your time. Kathy was asking if I offer one-on-one coaching or mentorship. Yes, I do. And I'm currently in negotiations with an organization that wants to bring me on board for that. I will share the information with Nobib when that is ready. But at the moment, I do offer support to people whenever they need it. But it's about to become a business.
Okay, okay. Mrs. Notch, that was wonderful. And thank you so much. We've learned a lot. I personally learned a lot. And If you have more questions to ask, and you can send them to kengoma@nobip.ca, or you can contact Mrs. Noch. If Mrs. Noch, you can put your email address in case they're in the chat box if they want to reach out to you. And the webinar has been recorded, as I said it at the beginning. It will be available on our website or on YouTube. Thank you again for your participation and for the question that you asked. And Mrs. Notch, thank you for answering to the question and for your presentation. And by the way, I love your logo. It's very beautiful.
you.
Thank you again, and I wish you a very good evening until we see you again to our next session. Thank you. Bye.